Valley Club, the final gift celebrating Grootmas have arrived today. Were they worth the wait? We got the Thunderbolts coming later in 2025, but is Red Hulk also getting a rework as part of this team? And now that the Spotlight Raid 2 Prologue has launched, should you be building up some of your raid characters with purple Iso-8, or should you be hoarding this stuff for Dark Dimension 8 and Odin? We're gonna discuss these topics and more in this edition of the Monday Mailbag. And if you're ready for all of these topics and more, then Valley Club, you know what to do. Find that like button and let's go smash it. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope your 2025 is off to a great start. We're diving into your mailbag questions in this video, and we're discussing the recent Grootmas gifts. But if you get some value from this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell so you know as soon as a brand new Marvel Strike Force video goes up on this channel. As we go into the game to open this third gift and discuss this grand finale gift, which is pretty good. So that third gift, once you open it, you're getting fragments for that fourth gift, so you could open that fourth gift. But you're getting Man-Thing shards, 310 Man-Thing shards, very good stuff. But let's go in and open this grand finale orb. Now, before we open this orb, we do know who's in this orb, but I do want to go back and discuss these clues here. It says here, we picked up some strange energy and some long-range scans. I thought this long-range scan meant this final gift, this final box, because that was gonna be the last thing. It ends up, that's what it ended up being. The question is, how would Groot have gotten his hands on a fragment that's been to Asgard, contact with a Tesseract, and spent some time in New York City? Well, if we go into the game right now for the answers, we know what the answers are. Ares, I guess he spent some time in Asgard. It's more associated with Roman and Greek mythology than with Norse mythology, but Ares, I guess, does make sense for the clues here. Hoard, yeah, she's had contact with the Tesseract, and Oath, well, she has spent some time in New York City as well. So let's open this. Some pretty good rewards here. Let me know your thoughts on these rewards. I know a lot of people already had Thanos unlocked, and we did get some shards for Sentinel, which was the Spotlight Raid orb, but I think this is probably the best. The Man-Thing shards, the Oath shards, the Hoard shards, and the Ares shards for unfarmable characters. I think it's pretty good, but let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. As we move forward to the questions of the week, and big shout out to everybody that left a question for this mailbag video. And if you do want to leave a question for one of these future mailbag videos, which we do every single week, make sure you are a member of Discord. The link is down below. Go to the mailbag questions channel and leave your question there. But first question of the week, hey ValleyFlyin, Happy New Year. How are you doing? First question is, when will Red Hulk get a rework? Second, is there a preview blog in 2020, or will there be a preview blog in 2025? And third, what's your theory on Professor X release methods? So we do kind of have answers to two of these questions. But as far as Red Hulk, well, I would have thought that he would have got a rework with the Thunderbolts. We did get to vote on these Thunderbolts here, and I would have thought that Red Hulk would have been a part of the Thunderbolts. For me, when I think of Thunderbolts, I think of Thunderbolt Ross. So Red Hulk should have been on that team, but Zemo also should be a part of that team, the founder of the Thunderbolts. But it looks like we're getting these characters as part of the Thunderbolts here. Victoria Hand, interesting character there. We have Hyperion, Songbird that would win, and then we had Ghost and Taskmaster that would win as well. Interesting that we did not get to vote for Zemo, did not get to vote for Red Hulk, and I'm not sure if because they automatically would be disqualified for this team because maybe they're so good in the game, or maybe they're automatically on this team. Let me know what you think is going to happen with this Thunderbolt team. Is Zemo going to be on this team? Is Red Hulk going to be on this team? Are they going to get reworks? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As we move on to the second and third parts of the question, as far as the early 2025 preview, well, we already got it. It was in 2024, so I guess this doesn't count as getting a preview blog in 2025. My assumption of getting another blog, so the late 2025 blog, I would say yes, although last year they were very late. We didn't get a second half of 2024 preview. At the end of 2024, we did this early 2025 preview. So my guess would be yes, towards the middle of this year is when we should get this second half preview, although they've been late a few years and last year it was non-existent. So maybe it's not going to be, but I'm hoping there will be some preview for 2025. But we did get the first preview for 2025. It did launch in 2024 though. But as far as the release of Professor X, we do have some information here. Right now, it is planned for spring of 2025. And I don't know if the executives at Scopely are looking at the first official date of spring for the launch of Professor X, but the first official date of spring this year is March 20th. So according to that blog, should be sometime after March 20th because that would be spring. And they do provide some details about the actual release method, but they also say that these details may evolve as we near the conclusion of Age of X, which means it could change. Everything on this could change, but as of what they have planned right now, it looks like it could be some sort of dark dimension. It could be some sort of a different version of dark dimension, some new thing that they're doing to release characters. But what it says, the release method, 60 plus mission nodes, increasing difficulties, each with various trait requirements. And that also says that mean red-eyed baddies will stop at nothing to prevent you from victory, which means there'll probably be a lot of Black Knights, a lot of Green Goblin classics on those nodes, a lot of gore, so you can't just use Old Man Logan or someone like that. So a lot of counters to the characters we have are probably going to be those red-eyed baddies, and missions with 60 plus nodes. Previously, our Dark Dimensions have had about 15 or so nodes at its max. 60 plus is way more than everything we've ever had in Dark Dimensions. So that's what I'm saying. This could be either a new thing that they're doing with Dark Dimension or a totally new game mode. I do think it's going to be similar to Dark Dimension with waves that drop, having these requirements, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with increasing difficulties. Maybe as you go through each node, it gets even harder and harder, kind of like Dark Dimension 8. The first few nodes pretty easy. As you got towards the end, it got a little harder. So that's what they might mean with this. I don't know, it could just be a Dark Dimension that's really, really long, longer than anything we've had before, but this is all we know about it so far. Let me know what your thoughts are, and let me know if you think these details will change. I have a question or two. What teams and characters do you want in the game in 2025? And my second question, would Marvel Strike Force use a public domain tune like Popeye or Mickey Mouse or not in the game? I don't think they would ever do that in Marvel Strike Force. I think Marvel does have a lot of say. From the conversations that I've had with the devs, Marvel does have say on what goes into the game. For example, the Professor X that we're getting in the game, I know a lot of people wanted the wheelchair version of Professor X, but Marvel wanted the version with a helmet, the Krakoa versions associated with the Savage Land. So that's the version that we're getting in the game, the one with the big helmet, the blue and black tracksuit things. So Marvel does have their say in, and if they do have say in things like that, I would think that they would have say in what characters come in the game. So they would not want other characters that wouldn't help their marketing. I do think Marvel Strike Force is kind of a trying to help the marketing for Marvel, whether it be the MCU or the comics or some of the merchandise. I do think they want the Marvel things showcased. So I don't think we would get a character like Popeye or Mickey Mouse. But as far as the characters that I would want to see in the game in 2025, let's start with this guy, Sandman. The William Baker version of Sandman, or the Kane Marco, whatever version. Oh, Kane Marco is Juggernaut, but whatever version of Sandman. I think this is an iconic character in the Spider-Man universe, and hopefully, if they bring Sandman to the game, it would bring other characters like Scorpion, Chameleon, other characters that I would want to see the game. So Sandman gets my vote, but not just Sandman, other Spider-Verse villains. Let's move on to Amora, aka Enchantress. We got a lot of Asgardian characters. We do have Odin in the game, and they could add a few more. I'm not, the Warriors 3 aren't in the game yet. We have Enchantress here, so that would be a cool thing that they could add. At least for me, I think Enchantress would be cool. I think this question has been asked many, many times over the years, and Enchantress has been on my list of characters I want to see come to Marvel Strike Force for a lot. Other character, Jeffrey the Land Shark. This was a fun card in Marvel Snap, and I haven't been playing Marvel Rivals, but I guess he's a fun character in Marvel Rivals. I don't think he's a very good character, but a fun character, Marvel Rivals. So I would want some of that fun extended to Marvel Strike Force. We're obviously not getting the pterodactyl in the game because Sauron didn't win the vote, but if we get a shark in the game, that would be cool. Galactus, not because I like Galactus, but because one of the reasons we don't have Galactus in the game right now is because such a large character. Devs haven't figured out a way to get Galactus in the game, which means if Galactus comes in the game, they figured that out, and we can have larger characters like a bigger version of Dormammu, or like a Fenrir, or some of these big Asgardian villains. So Galactus in the game, just because that means they figured out some of the technology. But as far as teams, I think I want to lean back to Sauron, character that we talked about a little bit. Sauron was part of the Savage Land, and as far as teams, I would like to see the Savage Land coming. And like Thunderbolts, I would want to see them coming, but we already know they're coming. Hellfire Club, that's a team that I would want to see in the game. ready to know they're coming. So I would go for a Savage Land team here. So let's get Sauron into the game. He lost the vote. That means he's not going to be on the Hellfire Club, but he could be on some other team. So hopefully like on a Savage Land team, which means that if we're going Savage Land, we would need someone like Khazar. If we had Khazar, I would want to see Shayna, the She-Devil. And then if we continue with that pet theme that we had from having Throg, the frog version of Thor, well, Zabu, another one of the pet Avengers would fit in this team. So I think if I would want a team, Hellfire Club and Thunderbolts, they're already coming to the game. So I would go for this Savage Land team. And then a few of these other characters, Enchantress, Jeff the Land Shark, Sandman, a few others. Let me know in the comments who you would want to see come to Marvel Strike Force in 2025. Hey, brother Valley, hope this year's been good for you and your family so far. I hope the same for you as well, brother. All right, interesting question. Do you think Green Goblin Classic and Nova Trials will get the roster requirements updated? I hope so. I hope so this year. I know that was their intent. They wanted to continue to upgrade these requirements for these legendary characters as it got out-of-date, updated with characters that would be more meaningful to update. However, as you know, they're pretty slow with a lot of things. You know, I think they have a lot of bugs, a lot of errors that happen, and it seems like they've been understaffed for a while. So will they ever get to it? Hopefully. I think it was their intent, and I think it still is their intent. But as more pressing issues come to the forefront, bugs or whatever happens, they have to shift those hours towards fixing those things, and then they can work on some other things. So I just don't think they have gotten to it yet. But I do remember when they initially did some of the changes to the Scourges and some of those past legendary events, they said they want to continue to update them. So hopefully they feel it's time, and hopefully they have time to upgrade these. But as far as the new Avengers, I'm still kind of getting use out of them in War. So if you're into War, wouldn't be the worst thing to upgrade. Rebirth, you still have some value from Captain Carter, Captain America. However, the rest of the Rebirth team, you're not going to get too much value. So upgrading them right now wouldn't be the worst thing, because you do get some value in War for some of these characters. But yeah, you still have to build them right now. Hopefully there's an announcement soon, and hopefully it's not like a last minute announcement, so some people can plan. They're not going to put resources into characters like Rebirth or New Avengers if they don't need to. So hopefully there's an announcement soon that they have fixed a lot of it or are changing a lot of this stuff, but I wouldn't expect it within the next 3 months. That's just kind of a number off the top of my head based on some of the things I know coming to the game. But hopefully we get a big pleasant surprise, and we get something added very soon. All right, quick question. What are the best purple Iso8 classes for Spider Society and Mercs for Money? So I'll show you what I have for Spider Society, what I have for Mercs for Money, but then let's go into the game and talk about if it's even worth upgrading your characters for the raids at this point. All right, as far as my Iso8 for my Spider Society, this is what I put on them for Dark Dimension 8. Hadn't switched it since then. They're autoing through pretty much what I needed to auto at this point. So Peter B, have him as healer. Striker for Penny and Pav, and we got Raider for Ghost Spider and Spider-Man Noir. And next is the Mercs for Money, and we got a couple different options for Old Man Logan, a couple different options for Doc. And Deathpool, I have Striker. Pandapool, we have Skirmisher. We have Raider on Deadpool, and for Old Man Logan, there's two that I really flip back and forth between Striker and Skirmisher. Usually on Mercs for Money or any pairing with Pandapool, I have him as Striker. Non-Mercs for Money, I have him as Skirmisher. And Dawkins, I think he's normally on the normal team better as a Raider, but we have him on Skirmisher just because normally the way I'm using Doc in Cosmic Crucible, I need him to get off that taunt from Black Knight, and just having him have the extra focus as Skirmisher helps him. So Raider or Skirmisher work for Doc, and Striker or Skirmisher work for Old Man Logan. Well, let's continue this Iso8 discussion, if it's even worth putting Iso8 on some of your characters. And that discussion is because a new Spotlight Raid 2 requires Iso8 on your characters. Iso8 level 2 for the difficulty 1, Iso8 level 3 for difficulty 2. Is it worth putting your Iso8 on these characters for some of these rewards? We're going to take a look at the raid rewards in just a little bit, but I think the big dividing line comes with Odin. If you don't have Odin, I think your alliance should stick on the Spotlight Raids 1, because there's no extra purple gear that you're getting in the Spotlight Raids as far as the rewards. I think you skip there, stick there until you have Odin. The majority of your alliance has Odin, then you guys can all shift towards putting your purple Iso8 on your raid characters because you already have Odin, and then you could move up to the Spotlight Raid 2. Now, if you do have Odin, depends on how hardcore your alliance is. My alliance is a hardcore raid alliance, so I needed to upgrade my Alpha Flight, and once we get into the Uncanny Avengers, I'm going to have to upgrade them as well to continue with these raids. If you're not in a hardcore alliance, I guess it really depends on what you want to do with this team. If you're sticking with Spotlight 1, you don't need the purple Iso8 on any of them. If you're upgrading to purple, if you're upgrading to Spotlight 2, it is a requirement, and I don't think the rewards are worth it enough if you don't have Odin. Because like I said, at least for the Spotlight 2 prologue, and it may change once we get the Spotlight Raid 2 First Strike and the normal Spotlight 2. No purple Iso8 in this, so you're not making any progress towards Odin if you don't already have him unlocked. And the good thing I see about these rewards, other than these raid credits, all the other materials seem to be the same. So whether you're at rank 1 or rank 24, other than these raid credits being a little different, all the other materials, all the other resources you get should be the same. And that's good because it makes it more of a cooperative thing that you're doing rather than competitive thing. These raid credits, unless you really need some in the raid store, aren't that valuable. And I think a big part of that problem is because Battle World was supposed to be our major source of purple Iso8, but because Battle World wasn't fun, devs took it down. It is not here anymore, which means a lot of this currency that we should have been getting for Battle World to help supplement our rosters with purple Iso8, some of these character shards, well, it is non-existent now. And unfortunately, in the latest communication about Battle World, devs were shooting for end of January for its return. So hopefully during its time, they find a way to give us more Iso8 crystals, the purple stuff, the ions as well. That way we can make it whole and not have to choose between either doing the most current raid or doing the most current Dark Dimension. I think you should be able to do both. Shoot for the current raid, give us those rewards to getting into Dark Dimension. That's how it was in the past. Hopefully that's how things look after this event. So let me know what you thought of these Grootmas gifts. Let me know what you're doing with your purple Iso8, pushing for the raids or waiting to get Odin. Hopefully you did get some value from this video, and if you did, leave it a like. And if you want to see every team in Marvel Strike Force ranked, check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist pump, ValleyFlyin out.